Hello, good morning to you all. My name is Simon, and welcome to Simon's Trading Channel. I do a daily Bitcoin price action analysis, and here we are, brand new week, Monday morning, with a lovely weekly closure. If you like all things green, and there it was. So it was written in the stars that was going to happen, probably towards the latter part of the week, but it certainly did become, it fulfilled its promise. So I'll just zoom down to the 4 hour because you can see all of my lines of randomness, support resistance lines. This being the weekly support line coming at 44, daily at 47, and then the more interesting stuff for now is in this relentless range, which is going back really to Valentine's Day. So that's it's a good little while ago. It's actually only 5 days. Feels like a lot more than that. And as you can see, Bitcoin basically went up to the top of the range, headbutted it a few times, came back down, set in the bottom of the range, and then has made a slow but steady, excuse me, hill climb up back to the top, which is where it is now. The question is it going to break and close above on a 4 hour? So you see these wicks above? These were on the 4 hour, there was no closure above. So even though it's tempted on the lower time frames to call them range breaks, like I labeled this one, it's like, yeah, it's a range break, but it only was on the lower time frames. There was no 4 hour closure, so it doesn't count. And we'll see what happens this time on this test of the upper end of the range. The RSI, the RSI has been pretty much divergent since back here. It sort of still is. Just depends on where this run up peaks out, as to whether or not it's continuation of the bearish divergence, or actually is the RSI going to reset itself and then for another move up? But that's for the future. So that's not for today. If we drop down to the lower time frames, so 15-minute hourly time frame, I've got a couple of lines on here. If you were watching yesterday, I was describing this section as a triangle, an ascending triangle or wedge or whatever you want to call it. It was just higher lows up against a lower time frame resistance. And that was indeed broken with this 15-minute candle. And then it retested the same level. I mean, you can move it down a bit. So this was resistance on the lower time frames, then became support, and it will remain support until it's broken. And now, price is continuing with the higher lows and indeed some higher highs. And it's up against the, if you like, macro resistance for this whole move up. And it's the same story. So just as it was here and here, you need a 4 hour closure back above 52,500. And if there is a 4 hour closure back above 52,500, that would look good for some more upside. And bear in mind what I said when we were looking at the weekly. Oh, actually, I might not have said it, because this is my second time I've recorded this video. This red line, I didn't say it, so I apologize. This red line is my personal target for if Bitcoin has another leg up on a higher time frame. And it's coming in at 57.2, or somewhere between 57, 57.5. So there's potentially another $2,000 in this move, but only when and if on the lower time frames Bitcoin can break above with a 4 hour closure Oh, bit of gas. 52.5. And it's not going to go straight there, but that's the first indication that there's more upside within this move to potentially 57. Maybe it won't get there, but that's what you need to, if you like, sow the seed of another leg up for Bitcoin on the higher time frames. Until then, this resistance has been holding, and it's been holding well for, nearly a week. And so you've got to give it the respect it's due and maybe look for a move back down to the bottom of the range. And personally, to make life easier for myself, I would look to do that, certainly with a lower high on the 15 or hourly time frame, but certainly with a break of this area, 52,000, that was resistance on the way up and is now likely to be support. So probably an hourly closure below 52,000 would look good for some more downside. So, that's how I see the price action for today. It's certainly wedging itself in. Bitcoin is wedging itself in up against the overall resistance. Remember, it needs to be a 4-hour closure above, not a lower time frame. And that would, give it really good impetus for more upside. I'd look for more of a range play with probably an hourly closure below 52,000. And then we'll come back to it tomorrow. I forgot to remind you that this isn't financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. But I think I've said that enough times in the previous videos for you to get the message. I hope you have a great Monday, first day of the week, and I hope it starts in a fun and meaningful way for you. And I will catch you tomorrow.